Okay, here we are. Another day, another VOD review. Today we are actually gonna look at it from the perspective of how to beat Min Min. I know, crazy stuff. So we have this guy, ChristOurLife, joined the Min Min Discord and asked us for advice. Uh, what am I doing wrong here? Grand finals against a Min Min that I lost to earlier in bracket 3-0. So I'm assuming they lost 3-0. And then they made it to grands in losers, and then they lost 3-0 again, and this is the grand final set. Personally, I think the winner's set would have been a bit more valuable just because it shows first impressions, and ultimately you can learn a lot more from first impressions as far as like a person to person basis. So like if you're looking for more what you can do better, I think the winner set would be better. But if you're looking more for how to play the matchup, this is definitely going to be a bit more valuable just because they already kind of know what to look for, seeing as they've already played you and they've already beat you 3-0. So instead of watching it in Discord, I downloaded it. I'm just going to remember which one's which. Wait, so if I do that, that's okay. So this one is the NPP for JBS. Okay, sweet. So that's this one. So game one, game two, game three. Okay, so here is game one in VLC Media Player in all of its glory. Okay, this guy has a lot of mods and he has a lot of stuff. I think he said his OBS was on. Uh, Yeah, ignore the background music. So I have my desktop audio muted. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I do. Okay, that's good because I also have my music on. So, um, yeah. Okay, Min Min Steve. Some groundwork. This is kind of my opinion, right? Is let me open a notepad real quick. Uh, 1 second. Sorry. Sweet. Okay. So we have a notepad here, and we're gonna just put some stuff. So as far as the Min Min v Steve matchup, from my perspective, okay, so let's start with stages. So first, in stages, there's like 3 or 4 things to consider. First is materials. Um, I am more afraid of Steve getting more iron and more diamond because not only because of the stage materials, iron gives you diamond the fastest, as well as gives you the most iron, which isn't always good for most things, right? Uh, but it does make it so that, Steve gets diamond faster, which isn't always a make or break, but I usually try to avoid iron, so no Kalos, no Hollow Bastion. Hollow Bastion does have 2 materials, so you can kind of switch between the stone and the iron. Although I will say a benefit to the iron is a lot of Steves will try to be a bit more aggressive against Min Min because of the fact that we can hit them from across the stage. So a lot of them will try to kind of live on the edge and just have, just enough materials. You usually won't have a ton of materials against Min Min by like the end of the game or the end of a stock or beginning of a stock a lot of the time. There's a lot of situations where you don't have materials against Min Min, and that makes Steve's already kind of bad disadvantage against Min Min even worse. I will say that Min Min's advantage on Steve is very strong because, like, when Steve's in disadvantage, what does he have, right? He has bad movement. He has minecart, which is kind of a predictable angle. Yeah, you have like armor and stuff, but dragon arm at full hop height covers the most common minecart spot, as well as like a whole bunch of other stuff. Other than that, like I feel like I can go into specifics, I can make my case, but um, you know, You can watch the VODs. You can look at the results. Because, like, at the end of the day, if we're talking just Min Steve, I'm going to end up talking about this for a minute. Sorry. is in Min Steve, the best Min in the world, maybe a bad example because, oh, who else is like Doramigi? It's just that guy. That is true. But at the same time, against this one kid, the best Steve on every continent has gone a different character. Akala has gone Game and Watch. Crepe Soleil has gone Rob, and Syrup has gone Ness into Doramigi because I don't know. I think it's either incredibly difficult compared to a lot of other matchups when Min is playing the matchup well, or just straight up a bad matchup, which is what I'm more inclined to believe. Although it is still Steve, and if you look at like what I've put in the server before, you know, it's like, how do you beat Steve? Well, you just take advantage of um, a lot of the things that just lead to kills, you know, between ledge trapping, because Steve kind of sucks on ledge, as well as recovering, because how do you recover? You recover with minecart and up B, and both of those things really leave you vulnerable to like all of Min's edge guarding. It's just that a lot of Min's never go off stage. Other than that, you have neutral, and I feel like in neutral, Steve is actually one of the easier characters to hit. Where Steve isn't like just straight up a hard winning matchup is the fact that Steve is Steve, right? He has all of the Steve stuff between I can hit you for 80 every time I touch you. I can like the edge guards are crazy, his ledge traps are crazy, his normals are crazy. Up till I just saw a clip of Sonic shielding like 5 gold up tilts and it basically broke his shield. Like it was his shield was completely gone. It was crazy. I could not believe it. Yeah, and I can go into other things, like if Steve is mashing up tilt, Min can down tilt and it'll go under the up tilt because she low profiles, her front leg is invincible. So a lot of times where Steve would normally mash up tilt, he should instead be going for the jab fair loops instead of the up tilt stuff. I will say once you get up tilt stuff, it is still good. It's just that Min has an option to beat up tilt where a lot of characters don't. Um, so I'm not saying that up tilt's bad. I'm just saying, that is a thing that Min can do. I'll just talk about like one or two things. Anyways, I made this whole notes thing and it doesn't matter. Anyways, you have the materials, yeah, platforms, because the big thing with walls is walls by themselves are decent, but they're not everything. I think the best thing is when you have a wall under a side battlefield platform or a side platform and to make your little house because that gives you complete time to do whatever you need to do. And if you I don't know how to word it, but it's like when you're dealing with wall stuff, you see certain trends over and over and over, right? Like say they try to break the whole wall at once, or they're close to the wall, you can just forward smash them or dash attack them, or if they break the top one, you can full out minecart. If they break the bottom one, you can minecart through. You can do a lot of things depending on how they hit walls, but if there's a platform there, it makes that even better, right? So my other stage I like to ban into Steve is Battlefield. Although I am mostly okay, like if I'm fighting my local Steve, or I guess he recently moved away, Avenger Spencer. I think he made the Anvil video. Um, I'd say we were pretty close to even. I was beating him for a while, and then he beat me a time or two, and then I beat him. Um, I don't know. I'd say it was pretty close to even. And a big thing was we would almost always go either PS2 or Small Battlefield. Differences between PS2 and Small Battlefield. Okay, so that's basically what it comes down to. Is Small Battlefield is other material, which is slightly slower diamonds, um, as well as a big mix of dirt and wood. So when you're mining, you don't necessarily get like stronger material. Sometimes you get back to dirt, which is important. As well as closer, but it's also block grid aligned. So on both the left and the right side, you can do like certain setups. Let's see. Other than that, you can still like make a house under platforms. What else? I think that's oh yeah, and then the short ceiling. So then you have PS2, which is stones mats, which is faster diamonds, as well as no wood or dirt. And then you also have more distance, which can be either good or bad, you know, like the further away you are, generally the safer you can mine. But the further away you are, the more Min can hit you where you can't hit her. But at the same time, I don't think that matters that much. And the reason why is because, let's see, I'm going to correct that to further because that's annoying me. The reason why it doesn't matter that much is because even if she was harassing you from across small battlefield, that still wouldn't matter because you have to kind of respect the Min arms in that sense, I guess. And the other thing is like the further away Min is, the more predictable the timing on her arms is. For example, what's her longest arm? It's Dragon Laser. The thing is that Dragon Laser has one timing from when she starts letting go of the dragon forward smash. There's only exactly one moment where the laser can be out, and it's on frame 30 to 40. It's active for 11 frames, and the charge frame is frame 8, so it comes out, what, 22 frames later every single time. Like, there's no other possible timing you can come out with a dragon forward smash, yeah, just the dragon laser. So if we're talking, oh, at this range I can only be hit by a dragon laser, you can just look at it. You just look at it, right? Not only that, like in the air, she can't charge a forward smash, so it's straight up a 30 frame move. Like that's like most of a warlock punch. Anyways, so more distance, not block grid aligned. So if you do certain like block grid style like ledge traps, how far into the video? Okay, we're 12 minutes in. Okay, I'll hurry. Sorry. You knew what you were getting into. So I think it's on the right side. A lot of things don't work as well. Like I think it's the block and then the anvil on top of the block or something like that. Maybe it's like I think it's that doesn't work as well on the right side, and it lets me get out of those situations a lot more. And then on PS2, even though the platforms are still higher, still can make a house. As well as this stage also has the short ceiling. Between the two, over time, I think I came to prefer small battlefield as a Min player. But I still have very few issues with PS2, just because like it's biplats and neutral and advantage. Transitioning from neutral to min advantage is generally very strong on biplats. I think it's still good. Overall, I would say these are the most neutral stages. Like, obviously, I would avoid Kalos, Hollow Bastion, Battlefield. That's just me. And then Steve would probably ban Smashville Town because wood, axe, tall ceiling, short sides, Min. Because Min's either killing you off the side or she's like edge guarding you off the side, right? So like the short sides matter. FD's not a bad pick, I don't think, but you can't make a house, which makes your wall a bit weaker, which matters. Although you do get a shovel, right? FD, shovel. As long as it's not Omega FD. If it's Omega FD, I think you use a pickaxe, which is weird, but yeah. So you have the shovel. It's still other mats, which is decent. That's still not bad. As well as no house and one other thing. I don't know. Still has the short ceiling, which matters because Min Min's really only killing you off the top with like up smash, maybe a megawatt in air, very super rarely an up air. That's literally it, I think. But the short ceiling matters a lot more for Steve because you have the up tilt, nil, up smash, right? Um, yeah, I think that's about it for stages. 15 minutes. We're making good progress. Okay, let's watch the stupid video. So I watched like 10 seconds, and the biggest thing is there's two big glaring flaws I see. Is that you are unfamiliar with Min Min and her options, as well as how to deal with like disadvantage. So right off the bat, um Min Min runs off the platform, does a double jump, ram tilt, and then you do a drop through minecart. This minecart doesn't beat like okay. So the other benefit to biplats is as Min Min, you're starting on a platform. And this gives Min Min so many different things. Something I like to do is I actually like to walk off the platform backwards, and then I'll double jump, dragon forward smash, so the laser covers like this entire area, and I can fast fall it so like it goes through everything. Like it's a really good start, and I could choose to land on the platform or fall through the platform with my forward smash, because arms can do that. So like that's just generally a big thing you have to kind of accept is that Min Min starts the game in advantage. She starts being able to hit you, and you can't really hit her. You have to make a read. And like this minecart jump out of, it's decent. You know, like this is a cool mod by the way. I think it's like Persona 4 inspired. Maybe it's like the Smash 4 like home menu thing where it has all the silhouettes. Anyways, so she runs off, double jump, ram tilt. So the thing about this ram tilt is it actually doesn't combo into anything. And then you double jump, like, okay, so you get hit by this ram tilt. This is the kind of VOD review you're getting. Sorry. So drop through minecart. I understand that the minecart early can help you get rid of some materials, and that is obviously good. But I feel like your reaction to getting hit, it should be okay. I get hit here. I should start, goading them, forcing them to approach me, use up their resources, get pissed off, and try to, I don't know what the word is. I don't know, just put themselves in a bad situation trying to hit you. Because realistically, if you can get them to lose their patience before you lose yours, Steve wins a lot more, I think. That's like the big Steve win condition, is forcing mistakes from the Min Min because she has to approach, she has to do something, she has to do something about you mining and building walls and all that. And yeah. Anyways, so you get hit by ram tilt here. And again, it's 6 damage. Who cares? Get hit by the laser. Okay, now you really should be on the ground. You choose to block for some reason. This is not good, I don't think. Because, like, yeah, you're in the corner. Like, literally less than 3 seconds in. We're in the corner against Min Min. This isn't good. This is really not good. So, if I were you, I would say, like like I don't know. Like the best thing you could have done is like build a wall or like do something about it cuz realistically at this point we kind of got to forget about the matchup. We have to forget the matchup and play anti Min Min, right? Forget Steve's options. We have to like do what we can to stop Min Min, and the big thing is the jump shield mix up. Now Steve has no airspeed and he also has no jump height. So that basically means we're forced to rely on our shield, which as Min Min, grabbing is very good because our throws are very strong. Back throw does like 18 damage. It gives her power dragon. It gives her amazing situational, like positional advantage. And you're off stage, and Steve can die pretty easily. So like grabs are very strong, but at the same time, Min Min's grab is the slowest grab in the game. It's frame 18. All of her grabs are frame 18. Dash grab, pivot grab, standing grab, they're all frame 18. So it makes it so that realistically it's a guessing game where Min Min's trying to force you to shield, but at the same time, if you give it to her and she reads it, then she gets a lot out of it. Maybe I'm reading too deep into this. I know I am reading too deep into this. We're only not even 3 seconds into the first game. But anyways, so the way this is going to go, by the way, if you haven't seen any of these stupid VOD reviews before that I do, is I like to get every single possibility out of the way so that later down the line, it becomes a bit more like, okay, this is what I was talking about, right? And then, it'll only go faster. I'm sorry. Anyways, so you block here, then you block here, but you get hit by Ram. Then you're in the corner, and you shield, and you're shield tilting forward, and you roll in. And this roll in is not good for a few reasons. For one, Minmin's always looking for the roll in. Rolls are inherently laggy and kind of. It's not that rolls are bad in Ultimate, it's just that they're kind of not that good. And the more you roll, the worse it gets, right? So in this situation, what can you do? Like, this is just a bad situation because you made like 2 bad decisions in the first second. So realistically, those 2 bad decisions should result in you taking like 50 and then resetting neutral. That's the mentality I have here. So you roll in, you don't get hit by arm 2. This is a very disciplined Min because if you look at how, so this is something that Doramigi does a lot as well, is that he'll start most games by trying to get as much advantage as he can. So he'll like do this where he'll start the game very aggressively, and then once he's in neutral, he's very poke heavy, right? So one ram into dash back, ram, and then ram dragon. Okay, so that's another thing. Of the 3 times he's thrown arms, because that was, even though that was 4 arms, he only threw arms 3 times. So it was he threw arms 3 times. Yes, 3 times. Wait. Okay, so it's Ram Dragon forward smash, right? I would consider this is arm 1, arm 2. That's one set of arms. And then second set of arms is just one Ram. Third set of arms is just one Ram. And then fourth set of arms is Ram Dragon. Okay, so we know they lead with Ram. That's awesome. Do you know why? It's because Ram is the fast one. It moves fast, and it has the high arc. So realistically, this gives us much more room to move around. And it makes it so that if you shield the Ram, you can pretty much like jump before the dragon hits. But realistically, you should just be shielding the second arm. Like, and and the other thing is he loves jump backwards. He is going to jump backwards every single time. So if you're going to get hit, say, can I like frame by frame this? I don't think so. So you roll in and you shield the first arm. Let's pretend you shield the second arm and then they jump back. This would be a perfect time to do a back air out of shield, right? Say it's at kill percent. You have diamond back air and they do tilt because if you don't know, Min can move and jump during all of her tilts. Well, all of her forward tilts. She has 4 of them. So she could do Ram tilt, Dragon tilt, and then still during end lag, quote unquote end lag, she can jump away. But she still has like a bad airspeed. In fact, Min and Steve have a very similar airspeed. I think Min's is barely worse than Steve's. So, but ultimately that doesn't matter. So it means that when Min jumps back, she is in the second arm end lag, and she has no option to shield. She can't throw out another aerial, can't throw out another arm. Arm 2 is the worst move in the game. Nobody knows this. Like, it's insane how few people actually treat arm 2 as the bad move it is. Anyways, that's just something you gotta watch out for. You drop shield before arm 2. So, and then you miss your tech, and then you rolled in. Roll in is slower than neutral get up, and it's also showing that you're desperate to get back to mid stage, which just gives you more, windows where you can be hit and punished and all that. Dragon laser, get hit, roll in, get hit, roll in. You again drop shield after arm 1, and then you get hit by arm 2. You get baited by that. Okay, so yep, shielded down tilts. This isn't safe, but you have to cross up. You actually hit that up tilt. Nice. But then you drop it. Okay. So, minecart back air. I feel like this is just kind of you throwing out stuff, right? It's like, okay, I'm Steve in neutral. Okay, up tilt, up tilt. Okay, it missed. That one missed too. Okay, cool. We're gonna walk up, shield, minecart, because it does something. The thing is that, like, the minecart, wow, what is this artifacting? Thank you, VLC. So anyways, realistically, what is this covering? It's covering a roll away, which, like, yeah, maybe it's a read from the first set or something, but I don't know. Overall, I feel like this is a very committal option, and it's not the smartest. And realistically, like, you're down to 1 iron after this. I think you should be mining. Like, what realist? Like, come on, dude. You're playing Steve. What's the best part of Steve? Diamonds. It's diamonds, dude, right? So your goal here is to create space. So if anything, if you're gonna minecart, I'm staying in the minecart to go over here away from Minmin, who's fat and slow. No offense, but I think she's the heaviest woman in Smash. I like them heavy. What can I say? Okay. Anyways. So no, and you're staying in mid stage, which mid stage isn't bad, but you're trying to fight with wood tools. Like, I don't know. Wood isn't bad per se, but it's like you're trying to fight with the worst tools you have. And like, okay, sweet. You get your 64, and then you're up here. Okay, what are you doing here? What is this backer gonna do at 64? It's wood backer at 64, dude. Like, you should be going like, okay, you get your combo here, right? You hit your roll in up tilt, right? So at this point, you've also like, oh, sorry. I'll talk about what I was talking about in a second, but this is kind of you, like, you rolled in and then you miss your tech and then you rolled in here, right? You hit this up tilt and then you jump, double jump, minecart, land with back air, shield, and then Minmin's in the corner. I want to hit Minmin. What am I going to do? This is the moment that most people are going to be looking for. And this isn't a Steve Minmin thing. This isn't a Smash thing. This is just like a conditioning thing. And like if you've ever played poker, this is the moment where you're like, okay, this is what I have in my hand, and this is like how I play a good hand, right? It's like, this is like, okay, I have a good hand, and I'm going to tell you I have a good hand. And my good hand is roll in up tilt. As soon as Minmin gets hit by this, if I was this Minmin, I would be looking out for roll in constantly. And if you can only get in with roll in, all of a sudden I can just run away from you, right? And all of a sudden the tables are turned, and now you're chasing me when you should have been farming for more iron and a diamond. So you hit your up tilt combo, you get your 60 damage. At this point, you double jump. Realistically, you shouldn't be. You should be going under this platform. You should be making a wall, and you should be like just forcing approaches, right? Because realistically, we're not looking for like pro gamer MLG plays. We're looking for consistency. And what's going to get us the furthest is more consistency, which is better tools, more materials. I don't know, maybe you minecart here just to get a better. Okay, so if you want to chase Minmin, this is like a Minmin, like, not even a Minmin thing. This isn't a Steve thing. Again, this is an ultimate thing. When someone is in the air, you don't want to chase after them in the air. You want to chase their landing, right? There's some characters that can cheat at this, like how Falco or ZSS have a super high jump, and they can like cover things with their aerials. We don't have that. We have bad movement as Minmin and Steve. We kind of have to cover landings. So in this situation, after Minmin gets launched up with this up smash, I would either camp for more materials, which is just, more consistent, or if you want to extend your advantage, don't chase after her up here. Minmin sucks in the air. What's she gonna do? Throw out an arm? She can't angle her arms in the air. Her other aerials are down air, nair, and up air, because she doesn't have forward air or back air. Those are just arms. She doesn't really have any specials either. Down B switches arms, and her up B is a tether. Like, that is literally everything Minmin can do. Other than that, she has up smash, or sorry, not up smash, double jump, and air dodge. Are those landing options? I guess, but they're not gonna hurt you. You know, they might help her position better for arms if you fall asleep somehow. Anyways, I would have preferred to, at this point, you want to go to mid stage if you want to do something, because then she might do a stupid down air and then you get another jab fair, or another up tilt combo, right? But realistically, you chase too far. Like, I have a local Pikachu in my scene, and like the worst thing is like he'll get his true combo and then he'll keep going. And it's like, because you tried to keep going, I got out of the disadvantage when it wasn't true. You gave me a window, because now the entire active frames that missed and the end lag are the window for me to get out, as opposed to if you just waited for me to do something stupid because I was in a bad situation. And like, that is, I think, what makes a good or a bad ultimate player, is how well you can like play advantage in a way that it's like, okay, I have positioning advantage, I have stage control, you need to land, what are you going to do? Most people don't know how to land without putting out a hitbox. Isn't that crazy? Like, if they're ever in a bad spot, they have to put out an attack. Most attacks aren't safe on shield. Most attacks, like, if they miss, they don't do anything, and they like put you at least a little bit punishable. And even if they miss, you can kind of react to where they're gonna be, and you could still hit them, you know? Like, you could still do a lot of things about a lot of things. And Min Min is like, she doesn't have Rob Nair. She doesn't have a B reverse. She has one of the worst, I think it's a bottom 6 airspeed in the game. Like, she has nothing. So, I don't know. I'm harping on this too much, but basically, after you get this advantage off this up smash, you should be sharking her landing, not trying to juggle her with whatever this is, because now you're kind of chasing her, and that kind of gives her an opportunity to do that. Also, the anvil did nothing. That was you pushing buttons. Like, you threw away an iron, like your last iron, actually. Yeah, it's like, okay, no more iron. Okay, now you get hit, and what happens if you get hit again? Is that you wouldn't have had a minecart, because you threw that minecart that didn't do anything, and you threw away this uh, anvil that doesn't do anything. And like, you were chasing with this forward air too. Like, you're just trying to chase her. And like, this is the, if you know anything about Street Fighter or like other fighting games, you've probably heard of Justin Wong. And I think he's one of the more interesting people in the fighting game scene, because he talks about how he loves defensive play. Because when you're talking to most people about fighting games and like what they spend their time practicing fighting games with, it's the combos, it's the block strings, it's the pressure, it's them pushing buttons, right? I'm playing video games to push buttons. I don't want to push I don't want to buy Street Fighter 6 to block. This isn't Block Fighter. That's Minecraft. Anyways, and he said that like, once you get people in these situations where they're pushing all these buttons and they don't do anything, like, it's they get frustrated and they become easier to manipulate, right? And I feel like that's you in this situation, at least. Again, I've seen less than 20 seconds, so maybe I should shut up and keep watching. Again, you get hit by arm 2. Down air goes unpunished. Ram nair into just punish. Okay. So here, no anvil, or you don't have any iron. So realistically, you can't minecart. And even if you could minecart would not be a good idea in the first place. So in this situation, you could up B from where you are. You can up B right here, or you can up B from below, which is the right answer. Maybe you can like block over here or something. I don't know. I don't play Steve. But I do know that Min Min has 3 options. She can either wait here and take the ledge trap, she can run off stage and try and kill you, or she can try and go for a 2-frame. Which, if you put a block here, the 2-frame is best at covering that. Other than that, the 2-frame, especially online, is not going to be all that good. So let's watch and see. Okay, so you go from here and you go a little bit below. So you do have the 2-frame. You're invincible. So here, this is my pet peeve. I hate this. I hate this so much. It actually makes me a little bit mad. So I'm not sure if you know this, but when you ledge jump, okay, so 2 things here. First, actually 3 things. So, do you know much about ledge trapping? I'm gonna assume you say I know enough, but I could learn some more. So I'm here to learn you. So here is where you left the ground, right? You got hit by Ram Ram, and then you get hit by Dragon Smash. Now you're off stage. So this is where your airtime started, right? You're here, and then you're here. You up tilt or up air to get a tumble, and so you can fast fall. So this is actually pretty technical. You do up air, fast fall, up B, straight over. So what I would have done is I would have stalled off stage. And there's two big benefits to that. Benefit number one is obviously the more airtime we have, the more ledge invincibility we have. More ledge invincibility is always good. The second thing is that Min Min's forward smash was nerfed so that she can't hold it as long as other forward smashes. Other forward smashes can be held for up to 2 full seconds. So you have the time it takes to get to full charge, and then you can hold a full charge for 2 seconds. Min Min can hold a full charge for half a second. So she has a much shorter like window where she can throw out a forward smash that she's been charging than any other character. So it makes it so if you have the opportunity to go to ledge fast or go to ledge slow, if Min Min reads a fast, she can't just wait, hold the forward smash, and then cover the slow, right? So that's where, at least into a lot of people, I tell them that you should mix up your when you recover, but start by delaying. You want to make delaying your recovery your plan A. The reason for that is because of what I just said, where you can avoid the 2 frame forward smash, the ram ram forward smash angled down, as well as you get more airtime. That's the other reason why that should be your plan A, is because you get more airtime, which means more ledge invincibility. So then you grab this ledge, and you immediately choose ledge jump. And this pisses me off so much, dude. You do ledge jump, double jump. Okay, so there's no reason for this. There's zero reason for this. So when you ledge jump, that ledge jump, like no double jump. There's no double jump involved yet. If you ledge jump, you get to choose which angle you go, whether it's forward, backward, or neutral. Doing a double jump gives you the same angle. This doesn't let you move forward any faster. This is just simply true. It also doesn't cancel the lag. When you do a ledge jump, it is a 14 frame animation. This is universal. Every character does this. They are invincible for the first 12 frames, and then you can hit them on frames 13 and 14, and then on frame 15, you're actionable. On frame 15, you double jump, which I think your double jump is actually shorter than your ledge jump. I could be mistaken. Maybe there's some Steve mechanic where his ledge jump is terrible that I don't know about. I know that Min Min's ledge jump is bad because her hurt box is huge, right? She like handstands with her noodles arms, and she's very tall. So when you're ledge jumping with Min Min, you want to buffer a Ram Ram Nair so that you hurt box shift to become much smaller. That is something that Min Min can do. That is fine because a Ram Ram Nair is a 28 frame animation. It's a very short animation. It's basically lagless. And if somebody tries to jump, Min Min Nair is actually the most invincible aerial in the game, and it beats most things. So, like, worst comes to worst, you have to play an air to air, and they might catch you out of the air during the startup of your Nair. Blah, 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 blah. I'm just saying that this double jump is bad. You should just be doing full hop, or better yet, just do, I don't know. I just feel like this double jump does nothing. It does nothing. That's really it, because like your big mixes here are like Anvil down, which Min Min can maybe react and up smash and kill you, or Minecart, which Min Min can maybe call out and like sharpshoot your head after like your armor ends, or forward smash your head and it breaks the armor, or whatever. Do you see what I mean? Like, this is a bad situation, and you make it worse by picking up two bad options. First, you buffer a ledge jump, and then second is you buffer a double jump. Like, the double jump here is so wasteful, and if you get hit, you just die. You should you should straight up like get hit by the hero kamikaze, or like the thwack where you just explode. Like, if you get touched here. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that was a bad execution on Minmin's part. She should have killed you. She should have killed you. Like I was gonna say, it might be difficult depending on like how Steve does things, but that was like straight up like she calls out the timing. Like you could tell, like the fact that she nares here is she knows exactly how antsy you are on ledge and how mashy you are in disadvantage. That you're going to jump into this nair, which should kill you. Like this should be a kill move. Like you hit this and then she double jumps. Okay, you should ram nair and then not double jump until after you hit them because the ram nair has a low angle and when you double jump you're outside of that angle. So like that was a mistake on their part. You should have died. That would have been a kill combo if she didn't mess up her double jump there. So your ledge option was terrible there, and your situation was terrible there because you tried to chase, and it was even worse because you wasted all of your iron, and it could have been better if you didn't waste your iron and you instead went and got more iron. So anyways, now we're on stage. Here, okay, this works out because you hit like a down, like, okay. So here is where I would say, as this is probably the bad opinion, the wrong opinion. But in this situation, okay, for one, in these situations where both players are off stage and you get to ledge first, you should almost always roll, by the way. Because ledge roll puts you more on stage, which is the entire point of the chase of getting back to stage fast, is who gets stage control. And realistically, as I said, Minmin doesn't have good airspeed. Her ledge jump is fine, but it makes it so that like, as with most characters, but especially for Minmin and as DLC characters, we actually both have the best ledge roll in the game. But even if we didn't, ledge roll still has the best reward out of any ledge option. If someone rolls from ledge and they get away with it, you're back to neutral. If someone neutral get ups and they get away with it, they're still in the corner, right? So like out of all the things we want to cover, it should be ledge roll. So in these situations where you get to ledge, you should be ledge rolling so that you can cover their ledge roll. Or if you're worried about speed, you should do a drop down double jump onto stage because if you do a roll, that's a 45 frame animation. If you do a neutral getup, that's like a 31 frame animation. So like if you do drop down double jump, like it's instant, right? So like if you're worried about speed, do drop down double jump. Otherwise, unless you're afraid of getting hit. If you're afraid of getting hit, jump is just faster and better. Or just roll so that you can cover the roll and get more stage control. But you do get up attack. That's just a small optimization I think you could have done here. You do this full hop. What's going on? Okay, so they hit their move. That another interesting thing, like a small thing that you can tell that they're a pretty good min, is they hit their combo and then they didn't do the dragon laser when they knew it wouldn't have hit. Like here, they hit this nair and then the ram tilt and then dragon and then there's no laser. You can tell that's like a small thing how you can tell. So yeah, they should have killed you there. Back air. I think your back air straight up was mistimed and misplaced, and it wouldn't have covered any timing that she could have done anything anyways. So it was kind of you mashing. You could probably work on your ledge trapping a little bit, and I'll leave it at that just because I don't understand a lot of Steve stuff. The other thing is like your disadvantage focuses so much on throwing shit out and being aggressive. So you do that, and then you cover it with down smash. That's something that, like, in Melee, you see a lot with Foxes, where it's like, oh, I missed my back air, time to mash Shine, right? Where it's like, oh, or like with Peach, oh, I missed my forward air, or I missed my landing aerial that's lagless because of float canceling. I'm going to down smash, and if you're anywhere close to me, you explode. And, like, I'm not saying that's a bad idea, it's just that, like, come on. We have way better options. We have way better tools. We're playing the best character in the game here. Like, come on. Okay, now you make a wall. 32 seconds into the game. And because it's so late into the game, we only have stone materials and we had dirt walls. So realistically, okay. Now you're getting in where it's like, okay, this is where I can tell like you're really unfamiliar with the matchup because it's like when you make this, okay, you make this space, you make the wall, I think you should have made the wall first and then start mining. But like, you get the stone. I don't think stone is that good. I could be wrong. I just don't remember. Every time I've got by Steve, I don't think it's ever been with stone tools, which might be anecdotal, but um, so like you get the stone tools. But here I think it's the best play to still stick in the corner because realistically, if Min Min's over here trying to hit you, what's the worst that happens? You get hit by one arm, and then you're on ledge, and then you have the one iron. That's not great, but at the same time, I don't know. Yeah, maybe you should try and be aggressive, but like it's like okay, landing forward air or back. Okay, so landing aerial, and then a second aerial, and then you try to grab her. Like you're just mashing in neutral at this point. I'm sorry. I feel like you're neutral at this point. Okay, up smash out of that. Don't. What was she doing? So this is just up B into air dodge. Okay, so up smash, up B air dodge, and I think that was like to avoid a down air or something. But then at that point, why would you up B? I don't know. Maybe it's a misinput. Anyways, I don't know why you're forward smashing in neutral. What are we doing? You're not that desperate for a kill. Okay. Arm. You at least blocked 2 arms that time. Forward smash, hits the crafting table. You get the ledge, and then buffered. Okay, so at this point, your ledge options, which should be your most ambiguous and most mixed part of your game as a rule in Smash Ultimate, has been the exact same every single time against one of the best ledge trappers in the game, and it's been instant ledge jump. Last time she covered it. This time you hit a forward air and now you're back to neutral and you're still losing and percent and like you still have dirt, right? Like if we're gonna bring back the I closed the window. Anyways, so we should make a new thing where what we should make a new rule where at the start of a game we have an objective, and that objective is we need to get rid of dirt and wood, especially on PS2, because as we talked about, one of the benefits to PS2 is that it is a stone stage, right? And we are getting none of that benefit when we're not mining and we're not getting rid of our dirt and wood. And also, like, they're switching to megawatt, which I think is not the best idea because, like, uh, megawatt doesn't kill you at 110. Also, you're jumping after arm 1. If you didn't know, arms don't do shield damage. Like, I mean, they do, but it's far reduced. You can, I mean, yeah, the fact that Steve can't angle his shield kind of sucks, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like that's neither here nor there, and it very rarely actually matters unless you're like holding your shield forever. But I'm just saying that, like, you should always hold for arm 2. Okay. Yeah, this is you mashing off of ledge again. Okay. At this point, I've got a pretty good hang on. Okay, that was good. Good on her going off stage. She should have been doing more nairs though, because arms are smaller, harder to hit, and slower, and a lot of other stuff. But you're mashing off ledge, and then that killed you. Because let's look at exactly how that kill happened. Okay, so in neutral, you get hit by arm 2 because you tried to jump out of shield. And that was good on her because she angled the second arm up to cover the jump out of shield, even though she didn't have ram out. Very close to hitting you, but it's Steve. It's not exactly reliable. And you do ledge jump up air to cover nothing. And as I said, if you get to ledge first, you should be rolling to cover their roll. But instead, Min Min gets ledge roll down smash. Min Min down smash is frame 6. It is very fast, very strong, very good. And because of that, it makes it so that there's only like 20 frames before the down smash that you can punish. That's still a sizable amount, especially for a character like Steve at this percent. I don't know if stone up tilt back air connects at 100 or kills at 100, but if that is an option here, that is something I would definitely go for. If I was, a bit more ready and not going for ledge jump up air when Min Min's at ledge. Because you get to ledge first. You should roll. But instead you do this double jump that does nothing and gets you killed. It literally gets you killed. It should have killed you sooner. Okay, so you spawn in and you craft, which I don't think is the best idea. Yep, she jumps backwards. I don't like the visuals on most of the things that are modded here, like the minecart or like the down tilt or the up B. I think it's kind of weird. Anyways, so down tilt hits and it does nothing because you still get hit for making a dirt wall and then you get nothing off the ledge trap, which Min Min is not good on ledge. I'm not sure if you know that, but like you can be punishing Min Min on ledge a lot harder, but you're playing catch up at this point. Even though like the percents might look close, like the fact that you have to try this much harder, like this should be an uphill battle for Min Min in a lot of ways. Like, okay, at this point, like she can just throw out arms. Okay, yep. How'd you get grabbed here? Okay, so you try to land with an aerial, try to forward smash, nothing in neutral. You're desperate for a kill. Like, that's another thing I'd add to the list is that you need to be a bit more comfortable with your kill options. Okay, shield 2 arms, nice. After 2 arms, you have to have an idea of what you want to do. More than just do that. 1 second, I gotta get a drink. I'll just replay a little bit. Okay. Upgrade to stone tools off the bat. Take 16 from her throwing arms off stage. Down smash, nothing. Minecart, basically nothing. To anvil, nothing. Like, you're throwing away your iron for no reason. So so every time you die, you get 3 iron, right? First one went to getting a minecart. Okay, you got another iron. Throw another minecart. Throw a third minecart in this stock. You hit it, but it doesn't lead to anything. It leads to her going high and then you going back to mid stage, which gets you hit. You also anvil in there somewhere. Like, do you see how like this mashing just runs you out of materials? Like your material management is just kind of bad, and then like you get hit by the laser. Um, yep. Okay, so we still have dirt over 1 minute and 15 seconds, and the second stock of the game. And as I mentioned before, this is a stone stage. You cannot dig up wood or dirt on this stage. This is very good because stone is actually the first, I would say, good material for walls. Okay, she gets a back throw because you did a forward smash. Decent recovery angle, but again, you need to mix it up. And you get punished for jump again, and you jump a 4th time. Okay. At this point, they're just trying to style on you a little bit. Not trying to be wow. Okay. So this is not true. And at this point, you should have like jab fastfalled or nair fastfall. It's the same move because this ram is not true. And now you need to mash A and then fastfall. And if you like, look at how close that was to missing, because this is the auto aim of the laser. I'm not sure you knew this, but Min Min's forward smash laser has an auto aim. And if you were barely below that laser, it straight up would not have moved because the laser's stupid. So because the ram put you into tumble at that high percent, you should have jabbed to get out of tumble, and then the first frame of the startup of jab you can fast fall, and then you can recover low. So that's another thing, is just be more comfortable with recovering low. Yeah, you just said what am I supposed to do there? I just told you is jab fast fall, or just not recover. What puts you that high against Min Min in the first place? Let's look at that. So dash attack. Okay, at this point, no minecart. So realistically, putting a block is fine because what can Min Min do about that from that range? She can try and okay do that. You're in the corner. Okay, you double jump for no reason. You minecart, and then you have no double jump. Yeah, you shouldn't have burned your double jump, and you shouldn't have burned your minecart. You're trying to be aggressive out of the corner. Not only that, you still have wood. Like, we're on our last stock, and we have so much wood. At least we have iron now, so, okay. You build stone, which I don't think is that good, but, okay. We get a kill. We had a raw forward smash kill. How did you get that forward smash? Let's look at that. Oh, you just rolled in on a grab. Okay. Yep. Okay, up tilt, up tilt, up tilt. Back air. Cool. Ram. Nair. Okay. Cool. Good stuff. She could have maybe avoided that in a way or two, but I don't want to look into that. Good stuff on your part. No, that was pretty real. That was pretty real. Good stuff. Yep. Nair does Ram Nair does not beat Minecart. Dragon Nair might, but this okay. I don't want to analyze the Min Min too much, but like this Ram here, this Ram was not good because it was an aerial Ram. If it was a grounded Ram, so the aerial Ram is shorter. If she had done a grounded Ram and then jumped, then it would have been a ground Ram in the air, and it would have had more range and it would hit you. But that was bad on their part. Okay, good roll in. Okay, back air. You're actually winning. This is crazy. This is wild. You have momentum, but you have no iron. And yeah, that is this okay, you straight up lost momentum because you didn't know you didn't have sorry, I peeked the mic there. But yeah, you straight up lost momentum because you weren't aware of your materials. Yep. And then you roll in again, same situation as 3 minutes ago from the very start of the first game. Or very start of the first stock of the first game. Okay, ledge roll there was not smart because she had two arms. You should have just full ledge jumped and then double jumped when you get to the height of your double jump. Okay, now you have a good wall. Now you have a diamond. But now you have no wall. Okay, build diamond. Yes. Okay, so this is the thing about diamond is that diamond takes longer to craft than other tools, but you can cancel the diamond crafting and do a shield, I think. So you should know the dragon or the laser range, I guess. Or at least I don't know. I've been playing Min Min for a few years. I know the range of it pretty well. Yep. That was an unsafe aerial. That was an unsafe landing aerial, and you kept doing it. And she punished you that time. Doesn't kill though, but you should.
My hand's off the controller there, dude.
Okay. Yeah, and then you got mashed on. Why are we minecarting in here? Like, I know you're pissed off and you just want to end the game, but like, you're just. I don't know what this does.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Okay, game two.
Match two.
Got some Led Zeppelin going on. FD, as mentioned before, I think this is a little bit worse stage just because you don't have the houses to make a platform. You don't have the platform to make houses. Sorry. Um, but yeah, I feel like maybe Min Min's advantage isn't quite as strong here. But it does maybe let you do more with the stuff. I don't know. You dropped your combo here. Okay, parry the second arm, and then you do nothing. So off of this second arm parry, I would straight up dash attack. Steve dash attack is so good, and it actually is a really good gap closer. So you parry that, and even though she jumps, I don't think it matters. Like I still think the dash attack would have been the better option because like there's not much she can do out of the jump that covers that. So okay, so you're on ledge there. Let's see how you got put on ledge. So you were kind of mashing in neutral, and then you get hit by dash attack, and then you try double jumping, which you always do, and yeah, you're very remedial in your yeah. So like if you look at like okay, I get hit, I'm going to buffer something out of hit stun. That this is your mentality here is, and some people are going to attack, some people are going to air dodge, some people are going to jump. Some Steves will minecart. Here you jump and you get caught by up air. So now you have no jump. You try minecarting and you get nared. And now you have one iron left and you get hit out of that. Like, do you see how like it's very easy to predict what you were doing there? And I feel like a lot of characters, not just Min Min, would have been able to punish that. Or maybe it is just a Min Min thing, but the fact that like you were so apt to always jump, always minecart, always second minecart on the third mash at the same timing out of hit stun every single time shows how uncomfortable you are in disadvantage. And I think it shows that maybe um what's the word, you need to be a bit more patient with yourself. Like you're trying to win all the time, which I don't know, some people pick Steve for that one reason. That's part of why I pick Min Min. uh but I will say that like you need to be more patient with yourself. Yeah, and like you're doing these instant ledge jump immediately every single time. You're disadvantaged. Okay, another instant ledge jump, and then you get killed for it again. That's like 17 times. Okay, jab, walk the dog, killer. Cool. Okay, wow, that okay. Yeah. She could have no, I don't think there's much she could have done. Yeah. Once she got hit by the fair. Yep. Good back throw. Oh, she could have killed you. Again, you could have jabbed fast fell here. Yeah, that's you could have. Yeah, like look how close that was to missing. If you even like one or two frames of fast fall makes all the distance. So like just yeah, nair. I keep saying jab because that's what it is, but like just jab fastball gets you out of this. It really does. If she has rage, that's true at that percent, but at no rage, because rage starts at 30%. With no rage, that isn't real. Okay, so you try to minecart, use up another one of your iron. You roll in. The rail was stale, so she knocked you out of the startup of it. She's able to mash air dodge out of the jab. Up air, up smash. And then you're trying to chase. Then what does this anvil do? Okay, you put it on TNT, and then it threw up the situation. Okay, now she was trying to do something. Oh wow, she saved her jump. Nice. Yeah, I feel like this ledge trap could also be a bit better. Where it's like, what are you, like? She does neutral get up, which is a reactable ledge option. This is reactable, and she gets away with it because you were busy trying to just forward air back air out of nowhere. When like realistically, this is game 5. You lost in winners. You lost game 1. This is game 2. at this point you should be knowing, okay, are they the kind of person to jump out of off the ledge when they're at 120%? And if so, then yeah, sure, that backer would have been a good pick. But the fact that like she didn't shows that you did not have the read on her in this situation. Okay. You're so greedy off the ledge. Like it's always jump double jump. It's always jump double jump. And you're always trying to get past ledge. Okay, so this is, oh my gosh, dude. Did I skip it? No. I don't know where I am. Okay, I think it was around here. Okay, so you minecart, you get hit. In this situation, you have three options, right? You can minecart in, which is greedy. You can try and go to ledge or just the corner, like land on the corner, which is still greedy, and that's not a good position to be against Min Min. Or you can go to ledge. Ledge is just the simplest, safest, best answer here, and you choose the minecart, which is skipping ledge. You're skipping ledge, and it's obviously it works sometimes, and it has the highest reward, but like it's risky, and I think it's tactless. Like I don't want to call it low class, but it's like it's like trying to get out of paying for a meal. You know, like come on, we can afford it. We can afford to do these things that we want to do, right? And if we're in a bad spot, we don't have to just try to get out of it immediately, you know? So, okay, you finally recover, and once you get to ledge, what do? Ledge jump. Okay, at least that time you delayed your double jump a little bit. You're a bit too high, and she has too much rage for the combo to straight up kill at this point. So she should be going for like a different option, like a megawatt forward smash read on your jump. Um, Yep. So this is like a mechanic where if Min Min's walking while she's doing arms, or she walks before she starts an arm, it'll go through the crafting table, and that's how she was able to break the bottom of the wall so fast. Um, and if you watch Min Min and how like she's breaking this wall, you'll notice that she's not a threat to you. If you okay, so you build this wall. Let's say that you just sit here and mine for the next 10 seconds. You get 10 seconds of mining. What of Min Min's actually hits that area? Nothing. Nothing. Not like, yeah, obviously you hit her with the minecart and all that, but like you lost your last iron when during that entire time you could have been mining, and then this dirt block does nothing. Okay, and then you're trying to go over her and land with these aerials again. I think that's just like, yeah, that wouldn't have hit there. Yeah. Now Min Min's able to just be more defensive because she doesn't have to approach you. And you're trying to approach her when like you could just like you should be hiding behind, like literally make a 3x3 wall, like a 3 high wall, 3 thick. You literally can do that, and it's the best thing to do to stock up on materials. Actually, that's what you should have been doing from the start, if you ask me. Wow. If that was a dragon forward smash, you would have died, and that would have been game 2. Wow. Okay, that was a good. I like that. The let's jump minecart. That's cool. You have a megawatt because you're trying to make too much happen. You're trying to force it when you should be waiting for her to give you an opportunity. Because like, there's certain things that you can punish. Like, okay, she shouldn't have got hit by that. Okay, you're gonna die before you get the diamond though, because diamond takes too long and you have no materials. This is what I was talking about at the start, where like in this matchup, it's so often that Steve straight up runs out of materials. Yeah, like you spend so much time and effort on these high blocks because yeah, in ultimate most moves are going to send you at that 45-degree angle, that you spend so much time and effort and resources setting up these blocks that'll like, yeah, I guess they'll save your life, but it's like if that's the difference maker, I would rather be putting my time, energy, and resources towards something else. Especially considering that because this is at the top of the block grid, it's not going to stick there for very long, right? Like it's already gone. It's gone. Okay. Now this one, yeah, that was a decent one. Now this one, even if it hits, even if you live, like, come on. Like that's not our win condition. This is our delay losing option. Anyways, I think that's mostly more of the same, but just a different example of the materials. Into game 3, Smashville, bad pick. Wood stage, high ceilings, close walls. Um, it uses your axe. Axe is always a good thing to have.
I just
Okay.
thought about how hopeless this match is and how I'm gonna have to like bracket reset something this. And then I just instantly click 60
Um.
damage. That's fine.
Yeah. The other thing about like these situations where you're down 2-0 is you also have to win on their counter pick, which I don't even know what Minman's counter pick here would be because like this is like the stage I wish my Steve would take me to. That was a weird interaction with that. Yeah, I don't know why you're trying to recover like that. Like that's just a bad spot. If like okay, this megawatt forward smash timing covers like a normal person's ledge jump timing because a normal person is going to wait for their ledge invincibility and then jump, but you just instant ledge jump every single time because you have like this super like aversion to being on ledge. Like you're it's like you're scared of holding onto the ledge too long. It's like you're I don't want it's like your sad anime backstory is that you held a ledge too long and then your father died or something. I don't know. And now like you'll never hold a ledge longer than you have to ever again. That's what it feels like looking at your ledge options. Anyways, your recovery option was a little bit predictable, not a little bit because you don't even have to predict. Like let's watch Minmin's perspective. It's like okay, I'm edge guarding Steve. He double jumps. Steve has one of the worst airspeeds in the game. What else does he have? He has no iron. He only has wood. So what does that leave? It leaves up B. Bam. Like even if that missed, she had arm 2. And from where you were positioned, arm 2 couldn't be punished. So yeah, ledge roll doesn't even get punished. Cool little minecart setup, but it was off stage, so it didn't work out. That was a cool positioning on the minecart. Um, let's see. Yeah, more minecart stuff. And like it's not like it hasn't worked out, but that's the thing is like again, I mentioned at the start, you want to value consistency. You don't want to be this lightning in a bottle all the time where it's like, yeah, if things go your way, you will win. That's true. You can take the stock off of a single minecart grab. That is true. We've done that this set. But the thing is that consistency, right? Because like let's look at these minecarts. That one missed. Okay, like I don't know. I'm not gonna make a compilation of your mine cards, but like you can look through the set yourself and then like make like a or like this mine cart. What does it do? Nothing. It's like your own personal checklist, like security blanket. Like, am I mine carting? I feel good. I don't know. I'm not. Am I being mean? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to help. Or like that minecart didn't do anything. Another instant ledge jump, and now you have no materials, and now you're in a bad position. And then yeah, that was a good option by Minmin because that covered like 2 or 3 things. And if she hit it, she win the game. If she gets hit, then she doesn't lose. So that was fine. Minecart hits, but what does it do? 5 damage. Roll in, grab, back throw doesn't kill. Personally, I would have back throw's fine, but I don't know your ledge traps or whatever. Down smash hits, but she lives. She rolls in through the thing, and what gets you hit by that last thing? Okay, so Nair. At this point, Min Min's double jumping. You are free to double jump yourself. This is like niche Min knowledge. This is the Min matchup stuff that matters, that are super hard to catch, and you kind of have to just have played against Min a lot to know what to do about it. You didn't place down a block, which might set up PMLG, but I think... Oh, wait, you up B the other direction. Or maybe you're trying to go in. Either way, you should have jab fastfalled there or double jumped. Just do anything except be there. And with that,
all these matches I have lost because of that beam.
every match you lost was because of the beam. I would disagree. That might have killed you a couple stocks and maybe the last stock of each game, but you didn't lose because of the laser. You lost because of your decision making for the other 95% of the game, and then you were put into a bad situation where you made another bad decision, is my opinion. And with that, that puts us at an hour 15 and a half. So if you were counting, that means that the VOD review was exactly 1 hour. I talked about stages for 15 minutes. I VOD reviewed for an hour. Now we're going to go over some to-do lists. Okay, so big flaws. Ledge game is terrible. So I'm just going to I'll format it like this. So ledge game is terrible. So the first thing is you never waited on ledge. Super important. And the reason why that's super important is because if you sit on ledge, you won't die most of the time. Some things can kill you, but she has to specifically be doing those things. So if she's doing something that catches you waiting on ledge, that means that other thing that it won't cover other things, right? All of a sudden, that's what we call dichotomy or a 50-50, right? Or in other words, because there's other options, it's an RPS. And not only that, we also have aggressive options, which you love off the ledge, which means that she either has to choose to cover your other ledge options, cover your ledge hang, or defend against your offensive options. That's what I would call a rock, paper, scissors, RPS 3 option situation. So your ledge game is terrible. You never wait on ledge. You always ledge jump. You often, usually, I'm just going to say often. You often double jump for no reason after the ledge jump. You recover high, where Min can often just kill you for being there. And you never delay your recovery. Avoids 2 frames and gives you more ledge invincibility. Okay, so your ledge game's terrible. That's like the big thing. Second is ledge traps weren't good. No reaction. So, there's 2 things we do. Things that are on reaction or things that are in prediction. The thing is that every ledge option is predictable except for ledge jump. Ledge jump is too fast to react to. So if they pick a grounded ledge option, we can just react to it. This is universal. Almost every single ledge option on every character is basically the same frame data. There's a very few outliers. So if somebody picks a normal getup, we have 30 frames to react to it. Well, realistically, it's less because it takes reaction time, but you can react to every single character's neutral getup. You can react to every single character's ledge roll, getup attack, etc. If they ledge jump, they're in the air and they don't have stage control, right? They don't have advantage, and we don't necessarily have to respect them or do something about it, right? Because ledge trapping isn't just about getting the win or the dub. It's getting what do you call it? It's getting information. It's once you have information, then you could set up a kill, you could set up damage, you could set up better ledge traps down the line for later stocks, later in that stock, later games, and in your case, later sets. Because I could tell from game one that the Min Min knew all of these things about you, that your ledge game is terrible. Which I blame, I'll just say it. Like, I blame the fact that you can just get away with stuff as Steve. The fact that you don't really put stock into this stuff, because like the thing is, you're not that bad. Like, there's some things that you're very good at. Like, I could tell your up tilt combos were pretty competent. Once you hit a jab, you knew what to do about it. Once you hit a minecart, you knew what to do about it. Your advantage is very strong. The issue is that your neutral is not educated. Your disadvantage is hot garbage. And that's what Min Min really thrives on. So in some ways, I think that your issue really isn't Min Min at all. It's your disadvantage is your biggest enemy. Again, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm a nice guy. I am. I'm sorry. And I want to be friends. I wouldn't necessarily be down for games any time of the day. I want to play you at some point, sure, but like, I'm this isn't mean spirited, and this is like coming from a place where I want to see you hit your local PR. I want to see you like, oh my gosh, this Steve character's crazy, and I want to see uh uh Gabriel's name on the character, because I want to see you showcase what makes this character fucked up and awesome, right? Like, that's what I want to see out of you. And your biggest flaws are not the matchup. They are not like related to the characters on screen. It's you. And at the end of the day, like, yeah, like your lead traps were not based on reaction. Very mashy. Only covered things when the Min Min made a mistake. And yes, if someone makes a mistake, obviously we should punish it. The issue is, if you're only getting your wins when people make mistakes, it makes it very difficult to like replicate a lot of things. It makes it so that, like, okay, this person doesn't make these mistakes. They don't get hit by my random anvils or my random minecarts or my random up tilts. All of a sudden, like, okay, imagine you've been playing this game for 1,000 hours, and 800 of those hours were spent mashing in people's faces. If all of a sudden somebody got really, really good at dealing with you mashing, 80% of your playtime is to waste against this player. Now, I don't know what you practice for. I don't know what kind of person you are. I don't know you. I just saw one set of you. And I just think that if we're going to take this game seriously, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it right, right? Like, that's why we're here. That's why we're playing top tiers. That's why we spend all this time and money and effort on the best, like, things that we have, like modded switches, in my case, modded controllers, like all this stuff I pay to like travel for events. Like, if we're going to take this seriously, we're going to practice for serious opponents, right? And props, I don't know who this Midman is, but props to them, because I feel like they played very well. And it wasn't disrespectful in any way, and it wasn't really necessary. It was I would say this Midman won through two things that worked very well in tandem with each other. Good execution. Good, and on one hand, you have good execution, as well as good solid game plan with the character, as well as on the other hand, solid adaptation, and they were able to quickly and accurately tell um what's the word, exactly what you were going to be doing at any given time. They called out almost every single one of your ledge jumps. There was a time or two where they called out something else that wasn't your ledge jump, but it was, do you see what I'm saying? And then it got to the point where in neutral, you were doing like three or four things. Let's do landing aerial. Let's do minecart. Let's do this and this and this. Sometimes a random forward smash or a random grab that wasn't going to hit. And they called it out almost every single time because they had a good combination of a solid game plan and solid adaptation. And that's really what you need is a solid foundation. Now, your foundation, I think, is the other way. Your foundation is that you have a strong combo game, and your entire neutral is, I don't want to be in neutral, I want to be in combo game. And it makes that's just not the kind of game this is, right? This is, yes, this is a fighting game, but like that's you, the combo is your reward, right? You have to do something to earn the reward, and most of the time it's not earned, it just happens sometimes, right? Like you'll go down the street and yeah, maybe somebody might throw you a bone. They might share their candy with you or buy you dinner or buy you lunch or whatever, but at the end of the day we have to earn it, right? And that's what it comes down to. I'm gonna try and end this within 5 minutes. I'm a big rambler. Sorry. Your lead traps weren't that good. Neutral. Mashy. Uh, Desperate for kills. And then I'm gonna just put this name this section. Steve. So you used stone / wood tools for most of the set, which I would think is bad. Obviously you want to get more diamonds, and it's not always possible against Min, but like that's something that like you should try a bit more. You did really good. I think the entire best game was that game 2, where like realistically you had a good game plan and then you ran out of materials. And like I don't know. I'm just gonna put poor management of materials. And I'm gonna expand on that in these 2 points where you didn't. Okay, I'm gonna put this one first, where it's you stuck to wood / dirt for most of the set, which kind of goes hand in hand with the first one, as well as poor material management, as well as what's the word? I had it and I lost it. I'm trying to find it again. But that's like the gist of it is um you didn't really ever mine, which is just like that's just a situation that's weird that you just kind of have to watch more and more of to really get. Like I could maybe send you a set of me against OPZ, uh where I feel like he does really good at this, and he's a bit more he's a lot more defensive than a lot of Steve's. I wouldn't even call him that campy. He does a lot of things, but it's just that he forces me to make the approach and forces me to do things. Um so you didn't really ever mind. You did some in game 2. Uh let's see. Oh yeah. You used way too much iron. Maybe one good anvil the entire set. And then way too many minecarts that just didn't do anything. No pressure or anything. No pressure or coverage or anything. And like at that point, like a lot of the ones I'm thinking of were in game 3, where it's like, yeah, it's Smashville. It's not the best stage. But yeah, I'd say that's like the gist of it with Steve. And then like combos could be a little better / cleaner. But yeah, we're not gonna like focus too much on that. This just comes with practice. So then another thing with neutral is zero patience, which is different from being mashy or desperate. I think that you never waited for something to punish. You always tried to force it. And I don't think that's very good. I think that you should be more patient more often. Another thing is anti-min-min. Shield arm 2. If she does tilt, jump, you can punish the jump. But be aware, she can also jump, double jump to get away even higher. But the thing is, if you catch this, like say a back air, because back air starts high, that can kill her. Another few things. Nothing is safe on shield. Landing aerials are free. Footstool dare out of shield for you. And this is something that, like, I don't know, maybe you don't want to practice, but it's killer. It's so much damage and it's free. It's literally free. It's very good. And then like other things are also just not safe on shield. Learn the range of arms or just be more comfortable with them. I'm also going to add to the Steve thing. You left... This also ties into everything else. You left yourself with 0 iron in so many bad spots where it would have been good, even if you didn't use it. And what I mean by this is, like, if you have iron, I'm so afraid. I'm more afraid of the minecart coming out than if you actually minecart, because as soon as you minecart, there's no possibilities anymore. Once you minecart, I see the absolute worst thing that can happen. If you wait, then anything can happen. Do you see what I mean? As soon as you pick an option, it's like Schrodinger's cat, you know? All of the possibilities are gone, like, because you open the box, right? Like, the moment you push the button, you lose the ability to really do anything else by pushing that button. So the fact that if you're in a bad spot with no iron, I have nothing to be afraid of. But if you're in a bad spot and you don't minecart with iron, now I have to actually think and use my head. I'll put like 1 or 2 more things and then I'll call it. Let's see. I'm trying to think of like smart things to say. Stages. I already talked about stages for the most part. I think you should have stuck to either small battlefield or PS2. FD would have been decent. Obviously, it worked decent for you, but like I think PS2 is the way to go here. Unless you're like super worried about the block grid stuff, but as we established, your ledge traps weren't good, and that means that the block grid align thing on PS2 doesn't really matter. So I think PS2 would have still been your best bet. And last thing is I want you to like start making more notes, because I could tell that like some things you get forgetful. But disadvantage. That's what it was. Disadvantage. Buffer, jab, fast fall more often, then recover low. So you're not in mins F smash range, as well as neutral get up after a missed tech is really fast and good and usually pretty hard to cover. And yeah, I don't know. The rest of it, at the end of the day, work on some fundies. We love you, man. Keep it up. Don't give up. Thanks for letting me watch. That is it. Okay, I'm going to copy all this and post it in the VOD review thing. And I had barely enough to put that part. What does it end with? Disadvantage. Sweet. Anyways, yeah, that will be 15 minutes of stage stuff, an hour of VOD review, and then 20 minutes of summary. Thanks for watching the whole thing. If you did, hit me up. I also do paid coaching. Yeah, it is like 1:30 a.m. I'm very tired. Peace.